If you have not become a patron of the Geocache Talk Network, what are you waiting for? Patron levels start as low as a Bison Tube level at $3 a month. To sign up is easy. Simply go to the Geocache Talk website and click on the Become a Patron button, or go to patreon.com/Geocache Talk. Patrons now get the famous Blackout coin, invites to special events, and other really great items throughout the year. Become a patron today. Have you subscribed to FTF Magazine yet? FTF Magazine is the #1 geocaching magazine available. It is a quarterly magazine that you can be part of. Submit your geocaching milestones and adventures to be published. FTF Magazine is also interactive with puzzles to solve and the hunt to find Spartacus. If you can solve the puzzle or find Spartacus, then you will be entered in to win a special pack tag. Every new subscription, you will receive a special swag pack. Subscribing is easy. Just visit FTF's website, ftfgeo.com. Don't miss out and subscribe today.
Well, welcome everyone to Deep Dive, where we dive deep into geocaching topics. I am one of your co-hosts, G-Slink, and there's Memphis Mafia.
Hey. Do you want to call it a deep dive or like getting really nerdy? Because I mean, that's really what we're doing. We're getting like the nerdiest of the nerdy for this stuff.
Yes.
But we're okay with it, of course. But I mean, that's truly, if somebody's walking into this and doesn't know much about geocaching, they're going to go, there's something wrong with these guys. Like they spent all this time talking on this one little minute topic, but this is the other show. You know, we've always said there's another show. So this is kind of the other show where we get to talk about the stuff that we really geek out about.
Absolutely. As Joshua, the geocaching vlogger, labeled it, that's for another show.
That is true. I don't have Darren, glass that Ryan made tonight, but because that would be too much with whiskey. So
yeah, that's true. That'd
be make it to the end of the show.
We'd be losing you somewhere in between there somewhere. Yeah, thanks to everybody for being on board tonight. We got a lot of folks tonight. This is really good. Tom's howdy from Selma. Yeah. Here he is. He's with us tonight.
I'm coming live from my kitchen table.
That's right.
Because I still don't have I'm going to call it my studio, but it's really called my office. But I don't have it set up in my new location yet. So I definitely want to.
We'll get there.
Who was that?
Thank you, our Canadian. We have some of our Canadian friends are on board.
Yeah, I see some names that aren't always here, so that's awesome.
Pizza Ninja from New York.
Yeah,
although he's upstate, so it's not New York. Well, he doesn't talk like a New Yorker. Geocaching Ninja.
Yeah,
another from Western New York. Yeah, that's right. Geo Tribe. Got a lot of the Northeast in us with us tonight.
On Eastern time, it's easier for us.
I know, that's great.
Not in the middle of the night.
Riley with us, I think from Illinois, if I'm correct. Yes. Hopefully that we'll talk about the keys here in a second, but hopefully there's a key near you soon, Riley. We're hoping for that. The Riley family. Tony with us. Tony sent me some cool pictures. I'll take a moment here in a minute to show you, and we'll post them somewhere too. So
cool.
Albedo. He's got the very thing we talked about, Jesse, a travel bug hospital.
Oh gosh, that's awesome.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
Nicole, Sharon, we can't get to everybody tonight. I'm trying to.
I have always wanted to find the perfect location I feel safe to build a travel bug hospital.
Right.
That's the hard part for me. I'm fine with building it, maintaining it, and doing all the work that goes along with it. I just need that safe place to be able to do it, and I haven't done that yet. Where I trust it. So.
Oh yeah. His is in
I've been scouting some places lately that, you don't know what. I know we're getting off topic already, right? But
no, you're fine. That's okay.
I'm in my new home, and one of my goals for this year, like I kind of worked on last year, but didn't get them all done last year. Which if we got them all done, we'd be done, right? So, my goal this year is to publish, one of each type of cache, and I'm trying to spread that out over time. Like in January, I did a letterbox.
Yeah.
So, but the hard part of that is not coming up with ideas to do it. The hard part of that is when you're in a new area is to find out which areas are more muggle dense than others.
Right.
Safe areas. You put something out there and that you feel safe for travel bugs to be in and stuff like that. So I'm slowly learning those areas, and hopefully I will, because I want to put out a bunch of good caches this year.
Let me
got?
show you. So here's one of the pictures of it.
Where is that?
And Tony, where? Tell us where that is. It's indoors. It's a Travel Bug hotel / hospital.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So Tony will tell us in a minute where it's located, but he's got one picture you'll love because it's exactly Travel Bug first aid.
Oh, that's great.
Isn't that awesome?
So needed.
Yeah, it's so perfect.
That is great.
Travel Bug first aid. It's in Springfield. Okay.
Springfield, Kentucky.
And then he says big dilemma was making it a premium or not, deciding not to.
So is that like taking insurance or not at the hospital? I'm not sure if that how you
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to help everybody or just the people with insurance?
Yeah.
All right, but here's the problem. We got to get back on topic, or we're going to create another show from our.
We are on top of another show.
Right? On top of another show.
Thanks to everybody who's joining in the chat room. Charles threw this out, which I thought was kind of funny because it's not tonight's. We did hashtag dive. We did hashtag deep. He tried to put something out there. Sir, you are not eligible to win. I'm sorry, but so what hashtag do you want to do for tonight? What do you think?
Let's do something longer, just to mess people up.
To really mess people up. That's nice. You want to do? I got an idea. You want me?
Go for it.
How about, since we're going to talk about, since we're using them as sort of a template tonight, how about hashtag Earthcaches?
There you go.
So I'll make a banner for it just to make it easier for people to know what I'm doing.
Does it have to have the capital C in the middle of the word?
No.
I know it's not case dependent, but
no, it's not.
I do like how they do that with the capital E, capital C.
Yep. There you go. So if you'd like to win something tonight on the show, please put in hashtag Earthcaches.
There we go.
Real quick, things to win. I still have the Bisons, the copper and the silver.
Those are cool.
I've got all of the guitars, red, blue, black, and oil dipped.
You know what? Those turned out really well too. I like those guitars.
They did. They turned out great.
One of the things I'm going to do in my new office or office studio is actually, because I'm jealous of all you guys, actually have a place to set up all the cool coins that we've gotten over the years.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've never had one. I've only had like boxes.
Yeah,
literally have a sack, like a paper sack of coins that are like memories and collections, and it's like a paper sack on a shelf.
Right. Hang on, I put in I get the start collecting comments. Excellent. They're rolling, so that's good. Other things to win, you can win the coin. People are asking by where you can get this. If you don't win it, you can get it on Amazon. It's my first fiction novel. So Beth, a young archaeologist, is preparing for her first dig that she'll be in charge. Jim, a friend of the family, and Michael, who is Beth's father, were geocaching in a nearby forest. While they didn't find the geocache, they did find a mysterious coin that gets them, Beth, and others entangled in the mystery, greed, and a chance to bring a family back together. There you go.
All those prizes.
All of that in one short story. And then I got this book too. I've got extras of these, so I thought, what the heck? I'll give one away. 201 worldwide geocaches to find before you die. That's also available on Amazon.
Yeah, I love checking those off the list.
Yeah, this one's kind of cool because it's worldwide. So like the 10 most popular in France.
Yeah.
I did a bunch of countries. So from Australia all the way down to the US and UK and Sweden and Norway and Portugal, and I even did South Korea. So I mean, if you're going to South Korea, you might want to figure out what the top 10.
I admit, we're working on another book right now, which we're not going to get into in the show, but Christy and I are working on another book right now that's just a fun kind of, book, just like the list type style books, challenges to go for and things like that. That's not what it's about. But we modeled it off of your second book. Mm-hmm. And your second book, I have it over on my bookshelf, but I've got it so marked up of all the ones I'm finding, how I'm going to group them together and how I'm going to go after everything. Those lists are so much fun to go and knock off.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Data-driven list people as geocachers a lot of times.
Right.
But again, still off track. Let's get on topic.
Off track still.
Let's
get back.
If we don't get started.
I know. Let's do some quick news. The quick news, couple things in the news. First off, we do have the coins available for Cache Fest, the pre-event coins. They're like night and day. In fact, that's what they are.
Literally.
The night and the day. So there's night in the bottom, or the day is the top one, the night's the bottom.
Yeah.
What about actually gluing these together? I think it'd be kind of a cool coin to put them together, but they're not.
You put them in a display together like that, I think.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. But again, so many cool things on here. It's very detailed. Even the back, they didn't spare any expense as far as that goes. And then it's got our Cache Fest Memphis logo for this year on there.
Love it. Very cool.
Go to cachefest.com, and pick you up. The set's only $35. If you want just one, you can buy one. Is $20, but there you go. So there is that. Next is the keys. We've got 3 keys that have been found. Is that right?
Yeah.
Charles's first key. I guess 2 have been found. Yeah. So one of them that was hidden in Fort Smith, Arkansas, was found. There's at least 45 keys that are going to be out there. Jesse's working on his.
Mine are going to be hard, just so don't even complain. Some of them have to be hard, right? And I'm that kind of guy. Who knows? There may be a tree climb involved. We'll see what happens.
You never know. Anything can happen.
We can't make them all just walk up and get, right? Sometimes you have to.
Right.
Sometimes you have to test yourself a little bit, but
absolutely. So stay tuned.
To get all those found.
Yeah, we're gonna try. Don't hold us to this, but the goal is to try to put out 3 keys a week as far as clues.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do our best to do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, best we can. Pizza Ninja is working on that. They're going to be all different because somebody's like, oh, I don't like your, the way I've been doing them is like The Secret, which I got a copy of the book here.
Well, the fun thing about this is like we did with the Great Stash Hunt in the past.
Yep.
It's so think about for anybody that's been, it's very limited people obviously been part of this, but think about when you're first hiding your caches, like the first 2 or 3 caches you ever published, right?
Right.
Waiting on somebody to find those. That is so exciting. However, this is like that times 100 for us because
exactly
small percentage of people that might be able to do it's I don't want to say elite, right? But it's the people that are really nerded out like us that are into this. Mm-hmm. They're going to hear about it. So it's like the top 10% of people that are going after these. So the good news is they're going to solve them like crazy. The bad news is it's not open to the general public. It is, but it's not the general public that's doing it. So we got to wait until somebody finds it. So the harder we make them, the more exciting it is for us.
Right. Somebody was asking about where they could find the information. If you go to go on Facebook, join the Cache Fest Memphis Vault Facebook group.
Yeah, that's gonna be so much fun. I can't wait till that opens.
Clues.
I've heard that we're gonna put Geraldo in it. Is that correct? Or
yes, Geraldo's gonna be opening up one.
Or maybe he'll be there opening it and he won't get it open. There'll be nothing inside. No, that won't be right. That was terrible the first time. So we're going to actually open it and have a bunch of prizes inside.
Oh yeah, tons of prizes. We're talking. Well, and I'll get to that one too in a second.
Oh, that's a good
Burnt Turtles
idea.
asks, "Is there a good place?" That's really the place. Burnt Turtles is that Facebook group.
Maybe we can put like some kind of like totals board up there or something.
Yeah, that'd be kind
Like
of cool.
how many are still outstanding. I like that.
Yeah,
Just so
Key 3 is.
we know a guy that's really good at social media.
There
We
you
do know a
go.
guy. He's a
We do know a
ninja
guy.
and all that stuff. But
Yeah,
we'll move on from there.
yeah. Key 3's hint is out there. It hasn't been found yet, although, and I don't give out any clues, so you're not going to get anything from me. But I've had people just sort of just generally just send me stuff like, "Hey, I'm doing whatever," and so that's been kind of interesting. So people are working on Key 3 right now. So, and those are different. Like I said, they're like The Secret, which if you have the book or have read about the book or watched it on, they're kind of in a prose format.
They're totally not. They don't conform to geocaching.com rules.
Correct.
Which is kind of the opposite of what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah,
we can do whatever we want, right?
Right. Well,
okay. Let's make some people mad. Let's get into our topic.
Let's get into it. All right. So, let's see. Did I cover everything? Hashtag geocaches tonight if you want to win something. Books, things, done that. Yeah. I think we're ready. I think I've covered everything. Yes. All right. Deep dive tonight. Should all
let's start off just by making our statement and then see how mad it makes people, and we'll see it in the comments.
Okay.
All geocaches should be like Earthcaches.
All geocaches should be just like Earthcaches. And we're going to talk about, because people ask,
is there a book? I want to answer this one. Is there a book we need to help solve these puzzles? No, there's no book. We're just saying it was like that style. So you do not have to buy anything to solve any of these.
It's that style.
Nothing like that. No.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
now
mine are in the style of The Secret, but they're not all like that. So if you're not into that style, don't worry. There are going to be plenty of puzzles / that send you to coordinates. So, but yeah. So tonight we're going to talk about Earthcaches. And
which is funny because people that have known me for years, this is the last thing they'd ever think they'd hear me say.
Right.
But let's go on anyway. All right. Kick it off.
All geocaches should be like Earthcaches, and here are the reasons why. And these are some of the things I'm going to mention them, and you tell me, because I think most of these early notes there are from that you put out there. One is, do we have too many LPCs? And I take it by your.
I'm going to answer that question. But beforehand, I want to answer another question that's going to be an offshoot of last week's show that I wasn't on. So y'all were talking about lab caches, right? And Project GC stats and everything else.
Project GC stats.
Let me think of another show that we need to have.
Yeah.
And it's now the division of physical versus, I know this sounds terrible, but non-physical caches. So y'all talk about this a little bit, right? So we know all the physical cache types, traditional, multi, puzzle, all those things.
Yeah.
But they're really increasing the amount of non-physical with virtual. They've re-released Earthcache, available all the time, and adventures. I'm trying to call them by the right terminology, right?
Right.
Those are really growing. So
they're growing.
I think we should touch on that in the future. But
yes,
how do we see that growing in the future? Right, like in the past, people were like 98% traditional, and then the other caches. But now, as y'all mentioned last week, labs are growing. Where do we see that going in the future? But throwing that out, because I do want to put in the caveat that we're not talking about a non-physical cache. We're talking about the other aspects of Earthcaches right now.
Correct. Very, very true. Yes, thank you for that.
Because that would lead us down such a different road. We would never finish tonight.
Oh no, you're exactly right.
The question is, do we have too many LPCs?
Right.
Oh, what a loaded question, right? So I'm going to say something that's really going to make people mad. And
okay,
I wouldn't say, do we have too many LPCs? Do we have too many caches?
Oh, now there's a good idea.
We may not like this.
Good question.
But I'm going to say yes. We have too many caches. That sounds dumb, right? Like that's like you have too much money. Yeah, I've got too much money. I've never heard anybody say that. I do think we are spoiled on the amount of caches we have, and I say that because, like in the, I don't want to say the olden days, because I've only been in the game since 2011, right? To be honest, but caches were a lot less back then, right? A lot.
Right.
Now they're literally everywhere, and I think, just like the value of everything, if you saturate the market, it brings the individual value down. Now, if you're a numbers hunter, LBCs are great. But if you're a quality cache hunter, LBCs kind of suck.
Darren makes a good point. Some places have too many caches.
Yes. A saturated market, right?
Not all places, but some places. I agree. And Darren, by the way, just a last final note on the vault. We have kind of almost in place a way for internationals, and we're going to try to do a grouping of international virtual keys
I think
for
you're
the
spilling
vault.
beans that you're not supposed to spill tonight.
No, I did. I spilled those the other day.
Okay.
I didn't say where. I'm just saying there are going to be a virtual key. So the world, everyone, can, not everyone, but others outside of the US and Canada, because, that are further away are going to get opportunities. So just putting that out there, because it made me think of that when I saw Darren. So
the problem is, we're on the deep dive show, is my brain is running 100 miles an hour because there's so many nerdy aspects I want to get into.
Go for it.
I'm going to get right back on it. But one has posted. Okay, I'll let you do that one. I got to post another one.
Okay.
To me,
which one?
Not near enough quality caches. Absolutely agree. But this one is a whole other show that we have to do. Should have to argue old and active crappy caches. I can't even tell you how much I could do 8 hours on that right now.
Oh yeah.
We got to go back. We got to go back to where we were, right? Because this is what we're talking about. It feeds into that, but it doesn't. So, as many people would say, LPCs serve a purpose. Now, do I turn my nose up to LPCs when I pull into a parking lot and Chrissy's going in to buy something in the store? And
right. No.
Not even no, but the other answer to that, right? I mean, we're fairly.
Heck yeah.
I'm still going to find it. I've even found them on accident before, just because I parked next to one and I lift it by habit.
Right. Just
it has the little onesie sticker on it. I go ahead and lift it just to be safe.
Right.
However, if you're talking quality side, which all of us go through phases, right? We go through phases of quantity and we go through phases of quality. And if you're trying to hit benchmarks or a 365 challenge or anything like that, quantity is important. But if you're in a phase like we are currently, like we've already hit our big milestones of like 10,000, those digits. The next big digit jump of us would be 100,000. Well, I don't know if we're ever going to do that, right? So now we're focusing more on quality and exploring and everything else and like county caching. So do LPCs really add a lot of value at this point? We're 11,000 something in. They don't. It's just a tick mark. It doesn't really, like, the way I'll put it is, I'm not convincing my 23-year-old and 15-year-old daughter to go find an LPC. They do not care.
Right.
Now, if I say we're going to go for a hike or we're going to go like we did recently and go see manatees and find the virtual cache near that, they're all on that. But it's a hard sell for me to say, I know we found 11,000, but let's just go find one in the Walmart parking lot. They're not interested. You know what I mean? They're like, you sleep in the car. Let me know when we get there. So,
but Jesse, there's this that I got to show.
Uh-oh. I know. That was funny. And it'll happen again in like what, 23 years or something?
Yeah, whatever Friday April Fools falls on is like in another 8 years or so.
Now, again,
maybe we'll bring it. Maybe we'll bring it back.
Two answers to this. One, now, should they outlaw LPCs? No, of course not. Because people have the right to hide them wherever they want to hide them. Am I interested in them? No. But I won't totally refuse them. However, do LPCs give geocaching I wouldn't take somebody brand new to LPC.
Right.
They would never start the game, even though my first one was an LPC. And I didn't start the game for another 619 days, so that'll tell you exactly. And I love this game. And it took me 691 or 19 days to find my second one. Because I went and found the first one. It was an LPC, and I was like, I don't know if this is for me.
Yeah.
So, having said all that,
I mean, yeah.
LPCs are not great.
Not about LPCs tonight. It's partially about LPCs.
It is because we're talking about boring caches, right?
Right. So you feel like there's a saturation issue. At least there are some saturation issues.
Yes. And the ones I bag on even more than LPCs are the pill bottle under a bush. How many times do you need to find that for you're like, there's no entertainment value left in that? Somebody just hid one because they could. It's at a park, and they literally threw a pill bottle. I've even found ones with the prescription label still on them.
Right. Oh, boy.
Dude, that is way too much information. I don't need to know that you have this disease. At least scrape that label off. Those, I don't think those add any value to the game. If we're being totally honest about it, you have a park, you have 15 caches in that park, and they're all just flimsy containers thrown under a bush. Somebody just wanted to add a number to it, and that doesn't add any value to the game. Now, does everybody have the right to do that? Of course they do, because under the current rules, you can do whatever you want to do. But does that add any value to the game? It does not. In my opinion, it does not.
I love them.
It waters it down so much.
Yeah.
I think finding a cache should be something cool. Takes you to a good location, has a good story. The things we always talk about. You can't even make up a good story for throwing a pill bottle under a bush. You can't do that. Maybe somebody could, because there's really
unless it's in a cool place.
Yes, but you can still do something better than a pill bottle under a bush. That has no unique value to it. So there is a saturation point where it's just everywhere. And finding a geocache is not hard if there's 8,000 in a 1 mile radius. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah.
That takes away from the game, in my opinion.
Kitty Catch with us tonight. Well, actually, for her, it's tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah.
Tomorrow afternoon? She's in Australia. So, again, thanks to our Aussies tonight and our Canadians and everyone from other countries that are with us tonight. Thank you so much.
So
she says sometimes it's in the walk to the bush.
I need to translate the bush for Australia.
Right. It could be out in the middle of nowhere.
Australia is something fantastic and unique. I'm talking 3 foot tall bush in the middle of a city park. At Australia, in my mind anyway, because I've never been there, everything is amazing and fantastic. So
right. So you would be okay with an LPC, finding an LPC in Australia, because you would be in Australia.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, and what I'm saying is a lack of, and obviously there's exceptions to everything, right? Because geocachers are amazingly creative. Right. There's some throwdown bush caches that have hundreds of favorite points because they add the walk to it or a story behind it or something else that makes it a unique, amazing cache. Right. But we're specifically talking about just a throwdown weak cache that adds no value other than one smiley point to your total, right? So those are, I would argue that there is an oversaturation of low quality caches.
Okay. Because we would be requiring, and we're going to talk about some of the requirements for Earthcaches and see how they mesh up. But
yes, perfect.
You would be more in favor of making it much more difficult to get them published, correct?
Yes. And I'm going to give a little bit of information on this. One,
okay.
It sounds like I'm being like hypocritical, but I'll explain. I don't like Earthcaches. That has never changed. I don't like finding earth caches.
And Christy hates them, right? You dislike them. She hates them.
She would turn around
with a passion.
She'd turn around, face the other way. She hates them, and
you just generally dislike them.
I don't like them either, with rare exceptions. There's some that I've been to that are, I mean, amazing, right? I mean, it's the location, it's beautiful. It's not the earth cache part of it; it's being at the location that's just awesome, right?
Right.
Gotcha. However, I'll probably reach the phase within a shorter period of time, unless I stop doing it, that I'll have published more earth caches than I found.
Which is cool. You've published how many now? You've published a ton.
Yeah, I don't know, 60 something probably.
60 earth caches you've published. That's incredible.
It's interesting because I don't like earth caches. I don't like finding them. I usually pass them up unless I look at it, I'm like, oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah.
But what I do like about them, I do like publishing them because on a total separate subject, I like publishing stuff that I want to find. However, in this situation, I like publishing stuff that I think people might want to find. So I see some earth cache and it says, read off the sign and answer the questions. That's terrible for me. So I don't like that. Right. I got into getting some original questions and taking them to beautiful locations and stuff on hikes that I go on. Those are okay. But there's some that for me, it's not the fact that I dislike geology. It's the fact that, and we're not getting to this tonight, but I like to find a physical object.
Right.
That's why I don't like earth caches. I like that aha moment that you get when you first find one. Right. I still have that every time. Right. I'm like, yeah, there it is. I found it. Yeah. So I don't like finding earth caches. I like hiding them. The reason why I like hiding them is because of what we're going to talk about tonight.
Yeah. I don't think people realize unless you've gone to the trouble, hopefully you have, of getting an earth cache published. It's a little bit tricky to get an earth cache published typically. And in fact, I was gonna say real quick. In fact, if there are certain locations, I think it's in Minnesota, there's a couple of places where if you try to publish, is it erratics? I think there's a
bunch of them, yeah.
But there's probably other locations, but if you try to publish a certain topic in this certain location, you will be denied 100% of the time now.
Oh, so yes.
You can no longer publish that particular thing in that particular location because there's so many that cover that. So you
hit on like 5 things right there.
I know.
So many things you hit on.
I know.
So hold on before you go any further, because I have trouble responding to everything you hit on.
Go for it.
One, again, the reason why I keep putting out earth caches is because I don't want them to take me to the side of the road. I want them to take me some area that I'm like, wow, right? That's awesome. So that's why I keep putting them out. And because I don't think you should have to have a geology degree to find a geocache. And I don't let people not understand mine. Right? So having said that, I'll explain why I'm saying that in a minute. When somebody finds one of mine, like I've had people go, I couldn't understand it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa, settle down. And we get in a conversation. I'm like, what did you see when you were there? I'm like, you're not just going to DNF this thing. We're going to talk about it. You found it. You were there.
Yeah.
I know not everybody can do that. Not everybody has time to go through that, but they should take you to a beautiful location. Now, having said that, you mentioned erratics. There's certain things like that have to do with confluence and other things that just won't be published in the area. But if you go in, which we always recommend because we're getting really nerdy in this, right? If you go in and read the geocache like knowledge book, it clearly lists these things will not be approved.
Right.
Even before we get to the saturation issues, it says, confluence, blah, 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 blah. Things based on this will not be approved.
Right.
To me, in physical caches, that could be replaced with, we've done LPCs. No, don't submit it. This area has done, we've done under a bush. These things we don't need any more of. Geocaching has 8 million of these. Settle down. Do something different, right?
So we could do that with LPCs, right? We could say,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there's an LPC in Greenville, Texas already. You cannot publish another LPC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is that kind of what you're getting at a little bit?
Yes, that is what I'm getting at. And that kind of crosses over to like saturation issues. So they converge, right?
Right.
So we have LPCs. We have too many LPCs in this area.
Right.
So like if somebody like I know they can't, and this is going to make people mad, and making sure I'm portraying this the right way.
Right.
Geocaching reviewers do not get paid enough money. They get paid zero, but they do not get paid. You could not pay me. Literally could not pay me. I would rather go do another hobby than do that job.
Right.
There's no way. Having said that, I wish they had the power to go, dude, we've got LPCs here. That is not high enough quality.
Right.
Step this up. This is your first cache. Do something better. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a gadget cache. You don't have to spend tons of money. I mean, like, very few people in the world put out like Chad level and Derek level caches, right?
Right.
Those are ridiculous. And some of the other people that we know that put things out, they don't put out that level of stuff. That is very unique, you know?
Yeah.
But you can do something better and do something more personal than I found an empty spot, and we've seen this a million times. This place needed a cache.
Yeah.
Okay, that's funny. We've done that before. Step it up just a tiny bit. Like if the reviewer could go, so is there anything unique about this spot? Is there anything unique about your container? Did you add anything personal to the cache page? No. Try again. Right. Send me back later. That would be the uniqueness part of it. Or somebody they were able to go, there is already 3 LPCs in that Walmart parking lot. Just because you can fit one in doesn't mean we need one.
Just
that's a saturation issue, right? And so I'm not saying Earthcache is the best cache in the world, but they have some guidelines that are pretty strict. It's hard to get an Earthcache published because they hold people to those standards. They will tell you, like, dude, we already have 4 caches about erosion in this area. It's too close. Do something different.
Yeah.
We can't do that on the other side. So that's the hard part, right? Like a general, not an Earthcache reviewer, a general cache reviewer cannot go, we have too many of these, except on like a challenge or whatever else. But I wish they could we could have also done this for challenges, right? But they can't go, I don't like this cache, it's terrible. Because they don't have the ability to do that. They don't have the power to do that. I don't know if they should, but it would be awesome if they could go, come on, man. You know, like, come on, man. Let's do something different than this.
Yeah, I like the
So Earthcache reviewers have the ability to go, 1, we're not publishing these because they don't meet our current standards.
Correct.
And 2, if it does meet our current standards, there's still already too many of these in this area. It's not unique.
Right.
I think that raises the level of the quality of Earthcaches that the other reviewers don't have the ability to do.
Right.
And I know it goes against a lot of guidelines, like, you know, they want it to be accessible to everybody, but because they don't have the ability to do that, we're really watering down the caches that are out there. If you go to the closest 10 caches to you, you're lucky if anything is special.
Right. Right.
You know, not all of them are, you know, Acropolis. Not all of them are Mingo. Mingo is special because of the age of it or whatever. But all of them are special caches, right? You know, where you're like, holy crap, this is awesome. Yeah. And because we can't hold stuff back like that, like Earthcaches can, we're flooding constantly with just meh, you know, meh. Right. So what do you want to bring people into the game seeing? That's what you should hide.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go down the line. You stop me when I get to something that So these are the Earthcache. I'm not gonna go through and read the whole thing. I'm just gonna read the topics. Okay. Just for folks, it's in the show notes. The show notes will be up on geocachetalk.com after the show. But here are, and you can go to geosociety.org and you can find them as well. So anyway, here are they. And some of these we'll just skip over because they're not really part of our discussion, I don't think. Earthcaches must provide an earth science lesson. Number 2, Earthcaches must be...
Replace that with geocaches should... I'll give you a replacement for that. take somebody to a unique location, have a unique story, have a cool container. Period.
There you go.
If you don't meet one of those, move on. If you
Right.
can't say, yes, I believe it does one of these, you probably shouldn't place that cache, right?
Right. Next one is Earthcaches must be educational. They should provide accurate but non-technical explanations. Boy, that's some of those are not followed.
Yeah, we know
of what visitors will experience at the site. The cache page, including the description and logging tasks, must assume only a basic knowledge of geology. So that's interesting.
So we could replace that on our side. We're talking about other caches, right?
On the geocaching side.
The cache page should give a good description of the cache for people that are brand new to the game and let them know whether they have the ability and the knowledge to go after this cache at this time. Like we've talked about with accessible caching and advanced caching and puzzles and everything else. It's frustrating for some if you bring it into the game, and we'll get off the premium versus non-premium stuff, right? But a brand new person opens it and they find that cache. There should be something on there that goes, this is an advanced level cache. You know, like think of like what Tom and Charles would put out, and they would call a level 4, like a difficulty 4 cache.
Right.
We're not puzzle guys as much as they are, so it's probably like a level 7 for us.
Right.
If this person sees that, they're going to go, I can try this, and then they'll be totally frustrated and not do it.
Right.
We should give information on the cache page of like, this is going to take you 5 hours. This is an extremely difficult cache. More than just the difficulty rating, right? Because we know how those are. But on that one, I would say that should be part of your cache, right? Like, this is a multi-stage thing. You're not going to do this all in one day, or just give people a general idea of what they're getting into. I think that would be a great level of help for people that are coming into the game. Well, experts, you can't stop experts in this game, right? There's people out there, and I know one of them myself. We've talked about him before. There was a team of 2 that I had a whole team together to try to stop them from finding caches. We put out caches just for them. There's nothing you can do to stop those guys. But that's not the general caching public, right?
Right.
I think that role could be replaced with give a little more information on your cache page. Don't just say the cache is here, go find it. Come on.
I think also a requirement would be and replace the form or augment the form that you have to fill out to get a cache published. And one of them would be you have to go through these questions, because people don't do this, although I tend to do it for myself. There's that series of guidelines as far as what a difficulty and a terrain should be.
Yes.
You would be forced, you would have to go through, you can't skip. You'd have to go through all those questions to determine what the difficulty of the terrain should be for your cache, because people have wildly different ideas of what a terrain and a difficulty are. And it does depend a lot on location. Like you said before, that Colorado terrain and Colorado cachers are going to look at terrain different than I will in Texas. Well,
or here in Florida either. Yeah.
Right. Or in Florida, or I should say East Texas, because West Texas, you get up into the Rocky Mountains there as well. But you get the idea is that would be a requirement. All right. The next one down is Earthcaches must highlight a unique feature. Earthcaches that duplicate existing Earthcaches or related sites may be rejected. Earthcaches must be developed to provide a unique experience to the location's visitors and to teach a unique lesson about the feature at that site.
So this is, I mean, it's more obvious in Earthcaches, right? And so this is hard, but I've published Earthcaches, specifically Earthcaches, not just other caches, right? But one of the reasons why I've published Earthcaches and got into publishing those is because you can do it, and it's encouraged to do it in places you don't live.
Right.
So, like, we love to travel. Right. I published Earthcaches in, like, I don't even know. I'm going to guess 16 maybe states, something like that. But it's because we travel, and I can hide that there for people to enjoy, but I don't have to maintain it, right? Other than if somebody says, like, you can't get there anymore, you know, or a forest fire destroyed everything, or we had a flood or something. But the uniqueness is the big deal there. right?
Yeah.
Like that's what we talked about earlier. Like they have the ability to go, we have this exact cache 5 miles away. Do something different.
Do something. Yeah.
And I don't believe, and I don't know how you would do this, but the regular, which I don't even want to say general regular, right? Because bless those guys.
Right.
A reviewer, a non-Earthcache reviewer, does not have the ability to go, we already have this cache.
Yeah.
We already have 5 of these. These are not unique. These are not special. Try something different.
Yeah.
And I don't know how in the world you would enforce this, but imagine if a reviewer could, you submit a cache and a reviewer goes, really? Is this the best you can do?
Yeah.
Can you come up with
another guardrail? We don't need another guardrail.
Even if it's the same like cache, make up a neat story or
make
it a neat location
container.
Or you can use the same container, but do something different.
Yeah.
Imagine the quality improvement immediately, right?
Right.
I mean, like we're at the point now, we're over 3 million caches, right? We haven't hit 4 million yet. So we're over 3 million caches worldwide. We have enough. We have enough caches. You can literally never find all the caches in a lifetime. There's no way. Nobody can.
No, nobody can.
The most prolific cachers have found like 200,000, right? We're still at that. Few people have crossed the 200,000 threshold.
Yeah.
That's out of 3 million. That's not even including events, right? Because events go away.
Right. But your find stays. Right.
We have enough. I'm not saying don't publish new caches. I'm saying we don't need to rush to do like another million caches because we're never going to find them all. Now maybe we shift focus to quality over like
so if there's
caching.
If there's a GeoArt in a location and somebody's like, oh, well, they only published them down this one road, because that's usually what a virtual, GeoArt that's a virtual GeoArt, typically all the caches are down a road every tenth of a mile. So you're saying if somebody comes along and says, oh, I'm going to put another GeoArt just next door to that one because there's a whole other road I could put them all down.
Yeah.
You're like, no, we don't need that GeoArt needs to be somewhere else.
Here's what I'll say. They have a place, right? So I've done some GeoArt and some are better than others. And one is in particular, is he here tonight?
Oh, by the way, Adi has a good comment. He says, what's stopping them from giving recommendations? I agree, Adi.
I don't think they've been empowered to do that.
They probably can't.
If Eric's in here tonight, he'll know. Yeah, Eric's in here tonight.
Yeah, Eric's in there.
So there is a Where I Go GeoArt.
Up in South Dakota.
Yeah. And me and a group went up and did that as part of a big run we did one week. It was awesome because it wasn't just straight down a line. It had differing terrains and everything else.
Right.
And they were accurately labeled, which usually they aren't. People lie about that all the time, right? Which is a whole other show, but we're not going to get into that right now. But that one is awesome. You have to solve them all, and it's like hard to get to some of them. And like, I don't want to say which rental company we had at the time, but we abused the insurance of that rental company without a doubt. We were nose down in the ditches with standing on the top of the truck, Anyway,
everything.
That was awesome. That was awesome fun, right? But I'm not saying that GeoArts don't have a place. I'm saying they don't typically add to the quality of the game. They're pure quantity. Are they fun? Yes, of course they are. Is ET fun? Of course it is. From people that we haven't been on that. We're going to plan a big trip for that. We're going
to do ET Highway.
GTN Network, right?
We're definitely doing that. Yeah.
But that's a unique experience because it's ET. It's one of the like bucket list things. But
you want to do it
quality of the game? It doesn't.
No.
And I've been parts of GeoArts. I've helped hide GeoArts. They're cool, but if we're talking about quality, does it truly add to the quality of the game? No. If I'm not saying they're going to, but if HQ somehow could go tomorrow, GeoArts are no longer allowed because of saturation issues.
Right.
Would geocaching would they really suffer? No, we would not. We would not suffer one single bit. It wouldn't hurt the game a bit, and we could still have quality caches out there all day long, right?
Yeah. No, you're exactly right, Eric. Yours is not the ET Highway. It's much better. So.
No. And I can attest to that personally.
Go do that one. It's in North.
ET trip's going to happen with
it's in South
everybody
Dakota,
that can
right?
come.
The Eric one, yeah. We'll have a big party on the ET holiday.
Huge. We could almost. I bet we can make that a mega, but that's a different show too. So, can we do a mega? No, stop. All right,
no, stop.
That's a different show.
All right. Ready for the next one?
Yes, go ahead.
Next one. Landowner or land manager permission is required for most Earthcache locations, and the name, title, and contact details of the person who approved it must be included in a reviewer note. Most land managers, once they're told that concept and that no physical container will be left behind, are happy to have an Earthcache in their park, forest, etc. We would suggest, however, that you develop Earthcaches in partnership with the land managers to ensure that sensitive areas are avoided. We'll get to that one in another one, but so there you go. Must landowner or land manager permission.
So this is the biggest thing, that if they would change this one thing, it would rock the geocaching world, but it would make so many improvements. So I have published a ton of geocaches, actually, but a ton of Earthcaches, right? I consider a ton. A lot of people publish a lot more than me, right? I'm a baby when it comes there. But when I publish an Earthcache now, what I don't do this on regular caches because nobody requires it.
Right.
When I publish one now, the initial thing that I send to the reviewer, and I have a bunch of notes for the reviewer when I start. I put, here's who I contact for permission. This is their email. This is their phone number. This is their position with that property. This is their authority for that property.
Right.
I never get questioned on that. Never. It's not hard to call somebody up and go, I want to place this geocache on your land.
Exactly.
What does that mean? Well, let me tell you about geocaching. Nowadays, a lot of people know about it anyway.
Sure.
But if we did that, we would have, people wouldn't do it. So they wouldn't throw down a lot of caches, right?
Right.
You get all that trouble, you're going to put a quality cache down. I mean, and let's just pull back the curtain for a minute and be honest. If you go to the trouble to call somebody and have that conversation with them and get explicit permission with their email and phone number and everything else, like you have actual permission for something, are you going to put a pill bottle there, an LBC there?
No.
You have wide open permission. You can put something awesome there.
No, exactly. You're going to put something cool. Yes,
you can put like way cooler stuff. You're not going to throw trash down there. You're going to go, I have permission to do whatever I want here. This is at least a birdhouse. This is an ammo can that's painted up. This is at least something here. Because you're wide open at that point. You have legal permission to do it.
Right.
I would contend that most LPCs, most like bush throwdowns, they've never called anybody.
No.
That's why you do it that quick, because you don't want to take the chance of it going missing or getting in trouble, and it's not even tied to anything. You don't want to waste your money on that, right?
Right.
If you had permission to, and I'll ask anybody this, if you had permission to hide a cache, like written permission to hide a cache in front of City Hall, are you going to do an LPC there?
No.
0 people are going to say yes to that. Are you going to throw a pill bottle in her bush? No. You're going to put something awesome there and be very proud of that. So that's the one rule that I think would be huge for raising the quality of regular caches like they are, whether you like Earthcaches or not. And I don't really like to go find them because I like to find something particular, but I like to find a physical thing. But Earthcaches, you have permission. You're not sneaking around. You're obvious about what you're doing. You don't have to be crazy sneaky about it. The only sneakier you would have to be with physical caches is you don't want a muggle to find it. But you're not worried about law enforcement coming after you. You're not worried about the owner coming out, any of that stuff. So you have time to really search and get really intricate in your search. Imagine how much that would, and I don't mean for you to tell on yourself, but of the caches you've actually got permission for, how much braver did you feel than the ones you just had to sneak in and go, well, they let other caches there, so I can do it.
Yeah. Well, all of mine are either at a public spot, which doesn't really have, I don't know who I would contact for some of them, but the other ones, I always get permission. But like Adi said, he hates visiting with people to get permission. But I'm kind of the same way. But once you get over that initial, you know, I'm gonna say fear, but it's like you're gonna have to explain geocaching, and if you feel like the person's not gonna really pay it, it can be kind of difficult. But once you get past that point,
right,
it's not bad.
And here's what I'll tell you about that. If you're approaching a small business, and now Chad's more the expert on this than me, right?
Yeah,
because
he's really good.
Honestly, I'll talk to anybody anywhere, so that's not a hang up
Sure.
for me like it is for other people. But
Yeah.
everyone I've ever approached, rarely have I ever had anybody say no. First of all, but introvert or not, everybody I've ever approached, and I'm like, here's the deal: there's this big game going on, and it costs you nothing, but it draws attention to your business. Like I didn't get to do it, and I had an awesome cacher up in Colorado, had built me a really nice, he was working on a really nice cache for me before I moved, of this local business. It was like a sewing shop.
Oh, cool.
Whether you know anything about that or not. So it was building it into a sewing machine that was going to be outside he was like, you're going to maintain this, and this is how many people play this game, and I don't have to do anything, and I'm not liable for anything, and you're doing advertising for me, and you'll bring people here. They were like, how many can
Sign
you put
me
here?
up.
Only one. I can only put one here.
Right.
They were like, what can I do? They really like that. And if
Yeah.
you're talking to park managers or anything like that, as long as you tell them they're not going to tear anything up, and you can give them explicit instructions on what to do when they get there, rarely has anybody ever said no.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. All the ones, because all the ones that I have on private property, obviously I have permission, and all of them that I think all of the ones I've attempted have all been approved. So one at a vet clinic, I made out of PVC, I made a fire hydrant, and that one lasted a long time. Eventually somebody stole it.
You just proved my point.
Right.
Did you throw a pill bottle under a bush or put an LBC there?
No.
Heck no, because
made a cool container.
Whatever you want to do and make it awesome.
Yeah.
Imagine if all caches out there were awesome like that.
Yeah. And the cool thing is you have permission. So, it's
you're wide open. And you can even show them, and the owners will help. It's so funny. It's so cute. The owners will be like, are you looking for the cache? They think they're all sly and stuff when people come up. And it's great. It's a total different experience than if you're like, I hope nobody busts me on this one and it goes missing or whatever, or the bomb squad thing, which we talked about before, or,
Maria has a good point. She's, I've been hesitating putting out a good cache because I'm also leery about talking to people. I understand. And that's Quincy says, don't discriminate against introverts.
And I'm not 100%. So here's what I would tell you. If you're to get around that, and I don't want to get all the way off on permissions right tonight, because that's a whole show by itself.
It really is.
Chad's really good at that. He's talked about that a bunch before too. But here's the thing. Everybody's good at different things, right? So if you're just crippled by the fact that you can't approach new people, okay, no problem. You don't have to change your life to do geocaching. Get involved with your local cachers, and I guarantee you there's somebody there that, like me, that doesn't care about talking to people. They'll talk to anybody in the world. They'll work with you. You can absolutely reach out to another cacher and go, I've got this cool idea. Will you help me get permission? They will, because just like reviewers, they want that cache to be published because they can go find it.
Right.
Just say, look, when you're at your local dinner meeting or, meet up for your area, go, I've got this cache prepared. I want it at this location. Will you help me go talk to this person?
Right.
There'll be a person in that group that'll go, yes, I'll do that for you.
They'll do it. Yeah, that's true.
Put on your cache page, permission was obtained thanks to this cacher.
I always do that because I feel like a badge of honor.
Yes. Or like this, which total different subject, but put on there who beta tested your cache. Same thing, beta tested by so-and-so. Permission with assistance of cacher ABC.
Yeah.
They get some kudos for it. You get to work together, and you don't have to go outside your comfort zone. And I absolutely get that some people don't feel like comfortable approaching somebody like that, but others in your area will.
Right.
Direwolf says for $50, he will talk to your business for you.
Yeah, that's funny.
I love that.
And I guess Tom will
well. That is correct.
Tom will do it for Absolutely. Tom will do it for Whataburger. I know that.
Yeah, he'll do it for free.
Yeah, emailing helps. Yeah.
Yeah, you can absolutely email. And some of the park places you have to email first. Now,
yeah,
I know we're running long, but the and just to share some of those stories because we're on permission real quick. I have emailed people before. I'm like, here's the deal. I want to hide this, and it was Earthcaches, right? Because you had to get special permission.
yeah.
I want to hide this Earthcache here. Here's what an Earthcache is. Send links and everything else. Here's my cell phone number. Call me if you have any questions. And more often than I've had somebody go, we can't do this in this area. And I've had somebody say, not this area, but another area would be great. I've had ones go, not only can you have permission, is it okay if I call you? I want to learn more about geocaching.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, come on. Us geeks can talk about geocaching all day long, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've had people get totally excited about it and do all kinds of stuff. So they're usually just as interested in it as we are hiding it. So
yeah. No, you're exactly
yes, that
right.
rule should absolutely apply to everything. This is how I have permission here. Email, phone number if you don't believe me, or to back it up, go.
Yeah, so we're kind of running out of time again. In the show notes, if you are curious to know how you do an Earthcache, they're there. We have a link also over to the GSA, the geosociety.org is where you want to go. The guidelines are over on the website over there. I just cut and paste them and put them in the show notes, so they're there if you want them. But one of the things I want to one of my pet peeves I want to get to tonight, which is it kind of falls more into and we're going to do our giveaway here in a second, so definitely get in your hashtag Earthcaches. It needs to look like the Deadliest Cachers posted, which is hashtag Earthcaches. If you post that in the chat room, you will be included in the giveaway, which we'll be doing in a minute. And you can pick from anything in the sunken treasure chest that I mentioned before. I think I did mention I've also got I made my own green coins. They're not exactly the same, but
those are awesome.
If you're missing a green, I've got two, and they're completely different than the regular green ones because A, we're not doing green ones anymore, and B, there's only two of them that have ever been made like I made. Also, I made a weird blackout one with the purple, so that's kind of different.
That actually makes me have some ideas about some stuff.
Purple and black. So anyway,
I missed the original coin a lot. We need to come up with a new one for that.
I know. I thought about doing a whiteout one. That'd be kind of wild. But anyway, if you'd like to win something, and when you win, you then can ask me which item in the treasure chest, and I will send that to you. And there you go.
So I'm going to address Maria's real quick, but I know we're going long. But Maria says that she tried to email to get permission in a state park or whatever. She got the runaround.
You will for state parks.
Sometimes people are just paper pushers, right? Keep pushing to other people. Call on the phone if you're not comfortable with calling the phone. Team up with somebody. Get a hold of somebody, and eventually you'll get somebody. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but that week or so worth of work on the front end gets you a lifetime of that geocache, whether it's an Earthcache or whether it's a real cache. I say real, that didn't come up right. A regular cache, a physical cache. The boldness you get and the pride that you get of having a legally placed cache is huge. And you want to really go above and beyond because you're representing to somebody. You're not hiding from somebody. You're really showing off at that point. So reach out to
state parks. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was going to say, though, one thing to note is state parks can be tricky because a lot of state parks have guidelines in place, or I think in a couple of the states, state parks do not allow them at all.
And they may not.
They may not. But at the very least, they should tell you because like Texas, they've got a page, and you can go read about what you have to do and so forth and so on. So check your state for state park information. You can check on that. So
But you know what?
Be that as it
They may not
may, you
currently
might
allow
want to
them.
start
They
if
may
you've never
now
done
they
one.
may allow
Get permission from
non-physical
local.
caches,
Right.
so you never know. They may change their policy based on you asking a question.
Yeah. Yeah, Teresa says for Texas State Parks, we had to fill out an application. That's probably true in many states. You got to fill out an app. So, yeah. But I'm trying to think. Most all of the caches that I have found that have been in state parks have all been pretty cool.
Because they're going through effort to put them out there, right?
Right. And I love when people, like you said, take the time to put out quality.
And that's really the crux of our argument tonight. It's not that every cache should be an earth cache.
Right.
It's every cache should go through the rigorous standards of hiding an earth cache.
Right.
Right. You know, go through all those things, and you're probably going to put out higher quality. You're probably going to put out like many. I'm not going to say all. Many of the GeoArts never got permission. They just assumed permission based on it's on telephone poles, which I guarantee you, if you called that company and asked, "Can I hang something on a telephone pole?" They would say no.
No, you cannot.
But most GeoArts do not have permission.
Right.
Obviously, there's exceptions. I know some that have explicit permission. You know, they're in parks and everything else, but most of them do not. You know, if you had explicit permission, you would do something even more impressive. Is what I would say. It's not just about permission, though. It's about if it had a higher standard of what you put out. Like if you wouldn't submit an LPC if you know the reviewer could go, dude. Come on, man.
You can't do that.
Yeah, we already have this. You found 50 of these in this city.
Yeah, we're not
Try
approving.
something different.
Yeah, and that's okay. I'm thinking of lots of things for another shows. That's for another show.
I got a whole list of them right now.
All right, let's wrap up. And we're going to do a giveaway, last chance, like StarkAZ did. Hashtag Earthcaches, which is kind of what we use that as the template tonight. So we use that as our hashtag for the night, and we've got things to give away, and you can choose. I'll get with you later and we'll figure that out. So, all right, let me share. Let me present, they call it now in StreamYard. Let me share my screen. Share the giveaway tool. So, there it is.
There it is. I can see it now.
Hashtag
Earthcaches. Entries. There's a good chance of winning.
There is a good chance. No, Tom, that's not the correct one. Pluto still is a planet cache. Yeah, that's probably true, but that's not. Oh, that's not going to make it either. You got to do it exactly.
Yeah, no space.
Up there, Jonathan. No space. Hashtag Earthcache is all one word. So
resubmit that, Jonathan.
Resubmit that, Jonathan. Somebody will win. Very good, Direwolf. We will have a winner.
Yes, tonight. We will have a winner.
So there you go. So, all right. Jonathan, put it in again. You get
there. You go. Good. Oh, he did Earthcache this time.
Earthcache. No, it's got Earthcaches. Girth caches. I like that one. That's not going to fit.
You know what's funny is if Jonathan wins this after those 3 entries, everybody's going to be like, "What? Come on."
Tony's got his in. Good.
Tony's got his in.
Glad you're with us tonight, buddy. Yeah, that direwolf, is he really funny? That's debatable. Teresa got hers in. Well, we're waiting on Jonathan. There we go. There you go, buddy. Got it.
There we go. He's got it now. Okay, good.
Teresa's got a great series of caches out there near Abilene that we just loved. If you remember, there was all those gadgets along the whole area. It was really cool. So your font is different. Now you're okay. Fonts won't matter. So, Patty here tonight. Thank you, Patty.
There we go.
Along. Okay. No, you're good. You're good, my friend.
You're good. We just want everybody to get a chance.
Yeah. He gets you guffawing. I don't know is it legal to guffawing I guess it is.
Depends on what state you're in.
Cronk guitar. Yeah, it does. It does. So, all right. Here we go.
Or push the button or whatever you call it.
Here we go. Here's the drawing. 3, 2, 1. Here it goes. Oh, it's Kitty Catch. No, it's Tony. It's Jarwolf. It's Julie D. It's Tony. It's Jim Stark. Jonathan. Nope. Seaback.
Oh my gosh, Jonathan was Royals fan. There we go. Royals fan is the winner. We got it.
Yep. My computer slowed down there. It got freaky.
Yeah, I saw that. That's crazy.
Yeah. So Royals fan, you won. Yes, you did. Send me email to geocachetalk@gmail.com. I can pull it up in the banner. I think we've got it right here.
We'll get the prize out to you.
Yeah, and we'll send the prize out, and it's that email, geocachetalk@gmail.com. And tell me which of the items you would like. Would you like the bisons? Let me remove this for the moment. So I've got, again, real quick, and we'll wrap up. I got bisons. I've got guitars. I've got the weird purple one. I got the greens now that I made. And I've got the books. Oh, I could grab them. I've got the coin. I'll autograph it for you, and I've also got a copy of the 2-on Worldwide. So, all right. Thank you, everyone, tonight. We'll see you on Sunday, if you're so inclined. And we're going to be doing Gadget Talk. So Gadget Talk will be on. And there you go. We'll be back on next Thursday with another cool topic. And
nope, hold on. I got to finish. I'm going to finish with a question.
Go for it.
Well, a statement and a question. One, just for information, we talked about a couple things tonight about getting permission and all those other things. Get in the Geocache Talk Facebook group. You can connect with somebody that feels more comfortable about getting permission or has more experience getting permission if you don't like that.
Yeah.
So I would hate for somebody, because they don't feel comfortable doing that, to not be able to put out a quality cache that would serve the community because they can't talk to somebody. Reach out. Right. Somebody will partner with you.
Right.
I would say that all the time, like with beta testing and all that stuff and help on a cache. If you're trying to put something else awesome out, but you have some kind of fear or some kind of hang up about something, don't let that stop you. There's tons of people, especially in the Geocache Talk Facebook group, that'll help you. It's free. We're not selling anything. Just go and reach out to somebody. And then 2, I'm going to throw this back on you. Here's my question.
Okay.
If we implemented all these things we talked about tonight for regular caches, what do you think the effect would be on geocaching?
I think it would improve. I really do. I don't necessarily agree with you on some of the things, which is cool because we're not supposed to agree on everything. We're very different, which makes the show more richer of an experience. That's why I love having you along, buddy, for this ride called Geocache Talk. And but I think it would really improve. And the last thing I wanted to mention was that landscape. I hate it when somebody publishes a cache in a spot that people are not, because you and I would know or be careful. Like if it's in a bush in a certain area, like, okay, I'll find this cache, but I gotta be really careful because we don't need to be destroying, the whole area. But the problem is, I'm sorry, geocachers, most of y'all run around like a herd of elephants and you ruin a whole area.
Oh, we've talked about that before.
We have, and that's for another show. But if you had to get permission, or not that number one, but if you had to guarantee to the reviewer that this was not in a location that would damage the area, we would we would be in much better. And overall, all the things you mentioned, I think would improve the game. We would we could clean up all the junk out there. We could go back to the days of really quality. Because now, you and I talk about before, what do we do when we want to go to a spot? We look at favorite points. Well, favorite points kind of, for the most part, gives you an idea of if a cache is quality or not. So if we're already doing that, if we're already skipping caches so that we could do quality, if we're in a new, like if we go to a brand new town, oh, well, what's the most favorite points in that town? Yeah. Why is it that we don't do that for the others? So I agree with you.
No, and I think in addressing several comments that are in here, one, I think our next show may need to be on how do we clean up some of the junk that's out there.
Yeah.
Because, man, we can talk about that all night long. And two, would lowering quantity but raising quality limit some of the caches out there? It would. And some people would be limited on that, right? But I think overall you have to decide kind of, do you want higher quality or higher quantity? And that's going to be a debate that everybody has their own personal opinion on. Right?
Yeah.
And then somebody else asked about, we have so many shows going on. Where do they find?
Oh, Jim.
And I think that would be geocachetalk.com,
yes.
right?
There's a schedule. You go to geocachetalk.com. Each show lists at the bottom. If you go to geocachetalk.com, if you look, every show is listed, but also within that listing, it'll say, Puzzle Talk, first Tuesday of the month at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Gadget Talk, all shows air live on second and fourth Sundays at 8 p.m. Under the Lamppost Talk is all shows air live on the Friday of the first day of April.
Yeah,
which only happens every.
And just like a whole other show, is M Bomber 33 said, quality is a matter of opinion. Absolutely.
Yeah,
we can talk about that for 3 days, right?
No, absolutely.
And there's quality rating. The 1 to 10 scale would help. There's actually a system for that. I don't think I've ever heard of a fellow geocacher brag about how many LPCs they found. That is true.
Yep.
But again, that was the point of all of it. Quality versus quantity. Everybody has their own debate on that. And we could literally talk about these rules all night long, but we can't.
But we're not. We're not going to.
No, we're not going to. We had to cut it off at some point because we could literally do this all night long.
All right, we're wrapping up. Well, thanks, Jesse, and we'll see everybody Sunday if you're so inclined for a Gadget Talk, or this time, next Thursday, 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Jesse time, and we will do a show then. So we'll say good night. So good night, everybody.